It was a late evening in the city, the kind where the air felt heavy and the streets carried the smell of rain-soaked asphalt, the kind of evening where people walked with their heads down, too lost in their own worlds to notice the shadows moving between buildings. Daniel Hayes, a 38-year-old single father with a quiet but powerful presence, had just finished his shift at the auto repair shop. He was walking home with his jacket zipped up against the chill, thinking about the dinner he promised his daughter, Lily, when his ears picked up something, a muffled cry, faint but sharp enough to slice through the hum of traffic. He froze, scanning the alley to his right, where dim orange light from a flickering street lamp revealed two figures struggling, a tall man in a hoodie dragging a young girl who couldn't have been older than 16, her hands clawing at his arm, her mouth covered to silence her screams. Daniel's heartbeat slammed into overdrive, instincts kicking in before his mind even had time to process. He didn't think. He moved. His boots splashed through shallow puddles as he crossed the street in long, aggressive strides, eyes locked on the attacker like a predator closing in on prey. "Let her go," he barked, his voice deep, commanding, a sound that made the hooded man freeze for half a second. That half second was all Daniel needed. His right fist came up like a hammer, smashing squarely into the man's jaw with a sickening crack that sent him sprawling backward, releasing the girl instantly. She stumbled to the ground, coughing and gasping for air. Daniel stepped over her protectively, planting himself between her and the stranger who was now clutching his face and groaning. "You picked the wrong street tonight," Daniel growled, his voice low, dangerous. The man staggered up, rage in his eyes, but Daniel had fought enough in his younger years to know exactly how to handle someone bigger or meaner. He sidestepped the first wild swing, caught the attacker's arm mid-air, twisted sharply until there was a loud pop and the man screamed, then shoved him into the brick wall so hard dust shook loose from the mortar. Daniel's chest rose and fell like a raging bull, adrenaline surging, but his focus never left the girl, who was trembling on the wet pavement, clutching her knees. "You're safe now," he said, his voice softening as he reached out a hand. She hesitated for a moment, eyes darting between him and her attacker, who was now trying to crawl away, but something in Daniel's steady gaze told her she could trust him. She took his hand, and he pulled her up gently. "What's your name?" he asked, keeping his eyes on the man now retreating into the shadows. "Maya," she whispered, tears streaking down her cheeks. "Okay, Maya," he said firmly. "You're with me now. He's not touching you again." But before they could leave, the man spat blood onto the pavement and hissed, "You don't know who you're messing with, old man. She's coming with me." Daniel turned slowly, eyes narrowing into cold steel, and stepped toward him with the quiet, terrifying energy of someone who didn't need to shout to be dangerous. "Try," he said simply, and that one word carried so much weight that the attacker's bravado crumbled instantly. He backed off, disappearing into the night. But Daniel knew this wasn't over. Men like that didn't just walk away. As they emerged from the alley into the faint glow of streetlights, Maya clung to his arm, her body shaking. "Thank you," she whispered again. "Don't thank me yet," Daniel said, scanning the streets for any sign they were being followed. "We need to get you somewhere safe." But the moment they turned the corner, a black SUV rolled slowly up beside them, windows tinted so dark that the inside was nothing but shadow. The passenger window slid down just enough for a voice to come out, deep, calm, and chilling. "That girl belongs to us. Hand her over, and no one gets hurt." Daniel's pulse thundered in his ears, but his feet planted firm. He shifted Maya behind him, every muscle in his body coiled and ready. "If you want her," he said, cracking his knuckles, "you'll have to go through me." The SUV door opened, and two large men stepped out. The air seemed to thicken, and Daniel knew, this night was about to get a lot uglier.